right. Well, let's move on. We're making pretty good time here for us. I don't have much to say about this next one, I'll tell you. So,
I'm
Theater
spinning the
3,
wheel.
we have
Theater
Shithouse
3. Yes,
from
all right.
2020, starring Cooper Raiff, Dylan Galula, Logan Miller, and Amy Landecker. Directed also by Cooper Raiff, which is perhaps the problem here. But continue.
Yeah, so Shithouse, to
You got a
just
trailer
put a
for us?
oh, well, yeah, okay, yeah, I guess, sorry, get ahead of myself. Before we watch this trailer, also because I'm
Yeah,
trying to
go
find
ahead.
it. Just to put a final note on our three party films, the one that's
Mhm.
lampoonish, the one that's Golden Locks, Goldie Just Right, and
This
now
one's
our final
very different
film.
than the other two.
This is very different, and if anything, is probably the most realistic portrayal of what a lot of parties are like these days, if anything. Um, so there's that.
My
So
kid's
let's watch
toy
this
again. As soon as you hit
trailer.
this
Y'all
trailer, I'm gonna
getting
go
ready for
turn
the
the.
party here?
What did you say?
I just asked if y'all are getting ready.
Yeah. I just called an Uber. You coming?
I'm not sure yet.
Oh, I'm not sure yet.
Why is college so hard?
Oh, I love college so much!
I feel like I'm just like floating.
Ouch.
You're trouble, aren't you?
I'm trouble?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm just not feeling well, and it's super frustrating. Am I not allowed to sleep here?
No, you can. Am I like keeping you up?
Oh no, I wasn't sleeping.
Do you want to like go hang out?
Yeah, I'd love to. So you're a sophomore, right?
Yeah.
Did you have a tough first year?
What do you mean, like adjusting?
Can I tell you a secret? I have 0 friends. Like you could say my roommate is a friend.
Sam, we need to get up.
I didn't do nothing.
Dropped a deuce on our roommate, man.
But we hate each other and aren't friends. I have a final tomorrow.
Do you want to work together? Which final?
History. The 18th century.
Paint?
Hey.
Hey. Sorry. Do you mind if I just get past you?
Oh my god, you sent her so many messages.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey. See you.
Are you sure that was the girl?
Yeah.
It just seems like she didn't know that you existed.
Why do you want to just go back to what you were doing?
Did you think we were gonna date because of one night?
Tonight, we're making new friends. Let's get outside the comfort zone.
Maggie is outside of my comfort zone, though.
What I've realized is that I haven't fully been here.
College is the most selfish time of your life. The agenda here is not to learn how to be a great friend.
What is the agenda? Figure out who you are.
Figuring out who you are separate from other people. Ow!
Oh my god.
You are so bad at pitching.
I know.
So yeah, that's 2020
So-
Shithouse.
Why don't you tell us the plot of Shithouse? But first, I gotta say, I don't think this movie's necessarily bad, but I think I'm too old for it. It's kind of like Dawson's Creek without the big words in the creek.
Yeah, that's not a terribly incorrect assessment. When I picked this film, I wanted to go with a modern party film because I kind of wanted that barometer,
Contrast.
if you will. Yeah, the contrast, the barometer. I wanted to see like, okay, we've had parties in the 60s, 70s. We had a party in the 90s. What's the parties like today? And this one, being an award winning and all that stuff, seemed like the ideal one. And the title, Shithouse, makes you think it's going to be a raucous, almost comedy-like
That's it.
thing, but it's
They don't
not.
even spend much time in the shit house. I'm not sure why it's called shit house. I
No,
think they go
no.
to one
So there's
party at the
so there's
shit
like
house.
there's two parties. There's one party at the
At the
shit
shit
house, and
house?
then there's another party at the baller
Basketball
house, like
house.
a basketball
Yeah.
player's house. Yeah. Essentially, this movie is about the ego death of Cooper Raiff's character, Roy's character. So shit house.
And
in
I'm
2020
guessing Cooper Rafe in real life, or this is how he wanted it to play out. Like this just feels like somebody just bearing their soul, sort of. But I'm like,
Yeah,
it's also like it's funny that they're playing first year university students because it feels like it's written by a first year university student because it's just like these are all like all these realizations and these concepts that the characters in this are grasping with are like very boring by the time you're like 23, for example.
yeah,
It's just like, yes, that's like,
yeah,
so it is like very much a coming of age in that way. I guess it's supposed to feel like that, but
yeah.
it's
Being
just for
36,
somebody
watching
our
this.
age, it's just a little painful to watch at
Yeah,
times.
being somebody 36, I'm like, I get it because I've been there. Like I know these emotions and mentalities he's going through. So I
But that was
related to
so
that
long ago. It's just like
it
that was
was so
20
long
years
ago.
ago.
I
Like,
know, but like I can
I don't need to revisit
I
20
understand.
years ago.
I know, I understood it to like a cringe degree, and I'm like, oh god, this is painful to
Yeah, me
watch.
too.
And the plot of Shithouse 2020 is
Which, I
Shithouse is
guess it's
written.
good on that level because it does have an effect. But
Yeah,
I'll get
Shithouse is
into it.
written, directed by, and starring Cooper Rafe.
Cooper Rafe.
And it's a coming of age story about a 19-year-old college freshman named Alex who's struggling to adjust to college life and make connections with his peers. He spends the first 6 months of his freshman year pretty much hiding in his dorm room with his
Can I
roommate.
just say, like,
Uh,
the entire conflict of this movie is just that Alex is a bit of a mama's boy.
yeah,
That's like
yeah,
the entire
definitely.
conflict of this movie.
Yeah.
He
He
misses his
meets a
mommy.
soft he meets a sophomore residential advisor named Maggie at a party, and the two bond over their shared struggles with family issues and grief. Maggie recently lost her pet turtle, and is just kind of like getting all hinged and getting turned up, if you will. However, the relationship becomes strained when Alex becomes overly attached after a one night stand, basically, and Maggie pushes him away, leading to a fight and a temporary breakup, if you will. After some self reflection, though, Alex works on building relationships with other students and eventually reconciles with Maggie, who then becomes his girlfriend. Um, so that's a brief synopsis of the film. Basically, this guy
Yeah,
is
that's
in his dorm room and meets
mostly
this
just
chick.
rumination from teenagers. It's just like there's
Yeah,
not a
well,
lot of
he's 19. He's from where like Texas or whatever.
Alice,
Apparently, he
yeah.
calls his mom and his sister all the time, and he has trouble uh, dealing
His
with
big
the fact that
realization is
his
that
family.
he's half in university and half at home with his family, and he needs to go all in on the university side. That's the big coming of age realization. Like they're just a bit. The big things he was playing at here are almost just a bit too basic. Now I could see a 16-year-old or an 18-year-old watching this and really connecting with it and thinking it really speaks to them, and that's fine. Yeah, it's just a bit too. I don't want to say dumbed down, but it's just a bit too like it felt like an act in a movie spread out to the length of the movie. Like this seems like the first act of a coming of age movie, but
Well,
but it
you
was
can
the
tell
whole
like through
movie.
scenes like you can tell through like some of the scenes there's very like apathetic and sort of
Mm.
like he's answering questions with like get some multiple choice up in here, and he's
It
having
it
mental
just seems,
conversations with stuffed wolf
yeah.
where it's like college sucks but you're also not trying, which is very much the message of the movie is college sucks but you're not trying. If you sit inside all day and listen to your shitty roommate, you're gonna have a bad time. And it actually takes his shitty roommate literally to be shitty for him to leave the house.
Yeah, he poops
As
his
we'll see
pants.
here.
The roommate has a little bit of an accident.
Yeah, Sam. Do you, do you think he's
The
talking about
acting
Sam
was
Egan?
actually
Sam, you should
decent in this. Like,
Is this Sam?
He might still be
Our
sharing.
our fan Sam?
No,
No.
no, I didn't.
is that Superfan Sam? Pass it
Is
on
that
the
super fan
floor.
Sam?
100% did.
No,
He did
Let's
love
get you
Animal
ready.
House.
oh shit.
We're gonna go to the shower, okay? And get your pants off.
No, these are my good pants.
These are
No,
your
these are
what?
my good
These
pants.
are my good pants.
I know they're good pants, but you You pooped in them. So we need to at least get up and go to the shower.
I didn't.
And clean them
No,
off.
I didn't do nothing.
Dude, no.
Sam, you need to get up.
I didn't do nothing.
Drop the
I
dish
didn't
on
So
our
this
do
feels like a
nothing.
real conversation with somebody passed out drunk. There are some good
Yeah, like
stuff
you,
in this movie.
like you know, he like lived off like these moments. But yeah, like this
Oh
just like
yeah.
shows the awkward energy that they present throughout this entire film, right?
This just feels like too much of an autobiography to me. It just seems like a bit too self-indulgent,
It's a really shitty
a
area.
bit
I don't know what you're talking
too much
about.
of somebody thinking they're more clever than they are. I don't
Yeah,
know.
when I was watching
A bit
this, I
of
was
that.
like, man, the writer of this film really is just kind of like putting it all. And then I found out that the guy I was watching wrote the film, and I was like,
I wish I
oh,
didn't know that. That almost soured me on the movie more.
I like having something heavy in my hand
Yeah.
to hold at a party.
Yeah, I get that.
I feel like that it's just like too dinky when you hold it. You know what I mean?
it is stinky. But yeah, no, like this whole
Take this one off.
scene, like it's just so cringy, and it's like and like
All of his
that's this
lines too
whole
are just
movie.
repeating the line that was just said to him. He's just like, "Yeah, it's too dinky." Like he does that through like the whole movie. He just kind of repeats what's said to him.
Yeah, yeah,
I
he
guess that's
does.
supposed
He
to
just sort of
show
parrots a lot of
nerves,
the scene.
but yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
it's such a weird, awkward movie. Like he's always, you know, going with his mom, like talking to his mom. Like the scene where they even have sex. It's like the first time they go to have sex, they don't quite get it off, and then they proceed to like walk through the night. He finds out about his turtle and tries to be all sweet, and then they eventually get together. And
which
she's
actually
not
leads to
about
a
it.
funny line where she's just like, "Am I the first person you've had sex with in college?" He's just like, "We haven't had sex."
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, am I the first person
Oh yeah,
that you've made out with naked in college?" And it's like,
yeah, yeah.
"Yeah." So like, yeah, it's a lot of stretch. There's a lot of emptiness in this. There's barely a few scenes, and like realistically, the
It could have
scene
been
that
at
holds
least
up.
a half hour shorter. Yeah.
Well, that's so yeah. I guess this was originally a short film. Apparently, like
Mhm.
when I looked for movie morsels for this thing, I was scraping bottom barrel. That's why I was so heavy on the Animal House movie morsels, because I got like 3 for this film at best. Um, the one scene that I honestly think holds up throughout the entire movie is ironically the end scene where Maggie is acting something entirely different to the movie, and she does a great job about it. This is arguably the best
I
scene
liked
in the
her
movie.
actually. She's a good actress.
Stop. You said the same thing last year.
Yeah.
You liked her more than I did last
Dylan
Yeah, I
Galula,
know.
she's amazing
She's amazing.
and
We're
cute.
agreeing with you. Agreed.
She's really good. She's like, have you
Yeah,
ever?
she's really
Do
good.
you know Meryl Streep?
Just what it was like to have been very young. Particularly the days when you were in love for the first time. When you felt like a person sleepwalking and you didn't quite see the street that you were in and you didn't quite hear everything that was said to you. You're just a little bit crazy. So
Like that's the most captivating scene in the film,
So
right?
she's the
Like,
most captivating performance in I agree.
yeah.
She
So
was
yeah,
so good.
and
I'd
yeah,
like to see her
she
in more
definitely.
things.
I would too. I would love to see Dylan in more things. Like she was easily, she had the best scene, and she
Mhm.
was the sole. Like her back is broken because without her, this film
Carrying
doesn't
this movie.
exist. Like, good
The
lord.
main actor, director, writer is trying to be that, but he's hamming it up too much. Like
Hmm.
because he's too in the weeds here. He's doing too many things. He's the writer, director, and actor. He's too
Probably
invested
producing
in this.
too. Yeah, yeah. I
Probably,
think he even edited the film too. Like, no, he
geez.
definitely edited the film. It was him and
You
somebody
know,
else.
hands off
Also,
on him. It's fairly well done. But I basically just like her and his roommate's kind of funny.
yeah, the scene he is basically has this full ego death call with his mother. He's like, "Mom, I can't call you anymore
I
because I
hated
haven't
that
been hanging
scene.
out with people." It was so bad. I was just like, "Oh my
That was
god."
the most Dawson's Creek thing. That was way more Dawson's Creek than Dawson's Creek ever was.
Yeah. The scene where he's at the basketball. He's like, "Who you know at the party?" He's like, "Oh, I know Jay," and he's like, "I'm Jay." And then these two just like rip him up and kick him out of the party, and then it like kind of downfalls from there. Like there
This
was
was the
kind of
one funny
interesting
scene with that actor though, was when he just starts cutting up the guy who's like kicking him out. He's like, "So how many
Oh
out or minutes do you get playing on the basketball team?" You know, probably not many
yeah,
because you're
what's
short.
your court
And he,
time?
yeah, he just keeps cutting him up. Then he ends up running down the street, running away from him. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But
So basically, Alex hooks up with Maggie, and then he does what any foolhardy fool does when they cook. Like, he just messages her and becomes a little too overbearing. She tries to get some
mm,
space, and then it turns into a kerfuffle. And then one night, she's like getting rid of her turtle tank, and he's walking back to his dorm after basically living his breakup arc, working out, making new friends. He sees her. She's like, "Help me."
crying,
And
crying on the
trying,
basketball court
yeah, crying on a basketball court with some random stranger for some
with some
unexplained
rando.
reason. Just some random guy plays ball, and then he gives him a pat on the shoulder. And I was like, is this just like an analogy for his dead father? Is this what the scene was supposed to be? But it wasn't emphasized enough to like it. I would have bought that scene if he's playing ball and then like a snap shut and the guy's like just disappears and it's just him on the court, like that. And then he's like, oh, he's thinking about his dad or whatever. That would have been more poignant, but it just seems so random that it kind of pulled me out of the whole thing. The stronger half of the movie is the latter half and the ending and the whole like wrapping up of it, and like how it takes him 2.5 years to make friends, live his college life. Now he's got friends, and they become boyfriend and girlfriend, and they walk off and into the sunset, and have their
And then a
happy end.
rooftop falls on them and they die.
Yeah, and then a roof falls on them, and then they die. Yeah, basically. But yeah, they walk down the street, and that's the whole plot of Shithouse. Like they
Setting
just,
aesthetic.
yeah.
I
The
mean,
setting and
it was
aesthetic
dark.
was
It's very dark.
it's an indie film. Yeah, he did not have a lot of
Yeah.
lights. He worked with
Mm.
a lot of natural lighting and what few probably halogens he had. It's it's an indie film at its heart. The budget
It
for this
looks
film was
fine.
not a lot, and
I mean, it looks better than Animal House.
yeah, like considering the like
I mean,
what
it
limited
should.
budget he had, it was a better looking Animal House. Like I said, this is a party film that's grounded more so in the reality of it. It's the reality of making friends, the reality of making relationships, running through the troubled waters of those relationships, and if people are mature enough to like reconcile and see past their own bullshit to actually be happy with each other. Um, it has those sort of important strings, but it does it in such a you know way that I
Oh, yeah.
just,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
like it can't
Too
quite get
self-indulgent.
behind it. Yeah, and I think
Um,
I was going in this movie thinking, well, this could be an interesting indie, maybe raunchous romp, and it turned into just a self-indulgent 12-man piece. Because as I'm about to
it
inform
reminded
you,
me of Dazed and Confused, but like a lot less good. Where like a lot of
yeah,
Dazed and Confused is Pink obsessing about himself, which is basically what this movie is. Um,
yeah,
but Dazed and Confused
yeah.
is
Well, I
good.
mean, it's
But
it's
this guy
definitely
wanted to do his own Dazed and Confused, is what it felt like. He's just like, I can do a Dazed and Confused. I can be the next Linklater or Richard
yeah,
Linklater.
yeah. It's basically, yeah, it's I don't know. It's a weird. It was an interesting film. It's definitely reminiscent of LA culture in the sense, and that's just sort of self indulgentness of LA culture. It's definitely highlights the common struggles of a lot of modern kids these days in an annoying, cringy way.
And
But that is like,
a more disconnected world in a way where people are just
yeah,
online and they do less physical conversations,
yeah,
But all right, well, movie morsels with Murphy.
yeah. I shit you not. I only have 3 movie morsels for this film. Um,
It's about
while
all
on
I
the
have
way to
patience for. for this movie.
That's all. Yeah, and we'll be under time too, so it's gonna be great. While on their way to bury Pete the Turtle, Maggie, Dylan Jalula, mentions to Alex that she was a stage manager for his high school theater department and was always jealous of the actors. In the production of Our Town, the that occurs at the end of the film. She plays the role of the stage manager, this time as an actor. So, she was a stage manager. Now she's an actor playing a stage manager. Shithouse began as a 50-minute YouTube video shot over 5 days during spring break at Occidental College in March 2018. Performed by
50 minutes
Cooper
would have been
Rafe.
better.
Yeah, and you know what? You can tell, like, this movie, if it was 50 minutes, it probably would have been better, and there's a lot of stretching in between. But yeah, performed by Cooper Rafe and his then girlfriend, Madeline Hill, with Will Humans as camera operator. Rafe then tweeted a link to the video to filmmaker and actor Jay Duplass, who suggested using it as a basis for a feature-length film. Duplass expressed interest in directing the film, but was unable due to scheduling issues. Rafe dropped out of Occidental in early 2019 to devote more effort into making the film, which was shot over 2 weeks in Los Angeles in August 2019. For cost reasons, the production could not secure official clearance to shoot on Occidental's campuses, so principal photography took place without permits, with Rafe claiming he was making a student short with no money when asked.
And as a student film, it's quite good, but
Yeah.
I don't want to make this sound extra rude, but it reeks of a student film.
Yeah, like this is a perfect example of a student film. Final note here: the press notes provided by IFC reveal that Rafe put together an early version of the movie with great friends and stolen equipment, and in a burst of bravery, tweeted the link to Jay Duplass. While Duplass helped get the project off the ground, Rafe embraced the fortune favors the bold ethos of indie filmmaking by reaching out to the actress who eventually portrayed Maggie, Dylan Galula, on Instagram. Ironic, because
she's amazing.
Instagram was a key factor in the story. We didn't have a casting director, so a lot of it was me texting friends. Hey, do you want to be in a movie I'm making? Rafe said. For Maggie, I direct messaged Dylan on Instagram and mentioned the name of Jay Duplass about 15 times. After Dylan got on board, I begged her to direct message Logan Miller on Instagram. For Mom, I begged Jay to ask Amy Landecker to read the script. And that's all I could find on Movie Morsels for this film, because it's only like 2 years old. It came out, I think it was meant to come out during the film release, or it was meant to come out like on the indie circuit, but then Corona hit, so all of those plans got canceled, and he eventually got bought out by IFC Films. So cinematography was by Rachel Klein. The film was edited by Cooper Rafe and Autumn D. Music by Jack Krause. Distributed by IFC Films on October 16th, 2020. The 99-minute film had a budget of $15,000 with a box office gross of $18,370. So a small success for him. He got his money back. He made his budget back, and he got an extra $2,000 to buy himself a couple months to write another script.
And he got featured on Hold Up, a movie podcast.
Hold Up, a movie podcast. This is true. And you know what? Like, he wasn't terrible. He wasn't
no, it's not
a terrible
bad.
actor.
It's just not for me.
Yeah, I would like to see Cooper Rafe saying somebody else's words, doing other things. Put him in some other projects.
I was going to say the opposite, maybe. Like, maybe have him direct other people and have other people say his words, maybe.
I don't know. I didn't think he was a terrible actor. I mean, I would be more interested in seeing a film that he directed without him acting in it, but I would also be interested to see what he would be like as a director under somebody else's, or as an actor under somebody else's direction. Because I don't think he was entirely terrible. Like, he played.
He wasn't bad. No, he wasn't bad.
Yeah,
I don't want to give him too
I would
much
like to see him in something with a little more gravity, or a little more budget, or just something with a little more meat to it. Because like, this was microwave.
Yeah, there's just no meat.
Yeah, it was a microwave meal, if you will.
Yeah, a bit too redundant, or not redundant. It's just too simplified. It's just a bit amateurish in its themes, not so much even in its direction or anything. It looks fine. Rewatchability, I would not watch this again.
I don't think I would watch it again. There wasn't a lot to it that made me want to rewatch it. Like
It's
Dylan
too
as
long.
Maggie,
Movies that feel
yeah,
too long do not make me want to watch them again.
and it's the shorter of the movies that we watched too. So like,
It felt the longest.
yeah, I was pausing and like, how much time's left on this film? Many times while watching it, and there was times I
House
wanted
Party
to
felt
tap
like
out,
half an
but
hour.
yeah, House Party flew by, but this one dragged, and I wanted to turn it off a couple times, but the golden rule in our podcast
Yeah.
is we don't turn off movies; we must watch them.
Plus, it got
So
better at the end, a little bit better near the end. So.
yeah, it landed on its feet pretty well. Like the
Mm.
last half was good, and
Except for that's when he calls his mom.
the
It's just
portion
too
the
much, man.
portion
It was too much.
the portion between them first kind of banging and then ultimately banging, like their whole
Yeah.
night,
Hmm.
that was really done well, and the ending,
Where
everything
he
else was
hits her with a
whatever.
baseball.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think it has rewatchability either.
Does it hold up, or does it measure up? We'll say this is a new movie. If we're gonna ask, does it measure up to other party movies? Certainly not. It does not measure up to a House Party. I don't think it even measures up to a lot of indie movies I've seen or coming of age movies I've seen. This one, there's good stuff here. This guy has some talent for sure, and so do a lot of the actors in this. But no, this one does not measure up for me.
Yeah. I want to say it does, but in all honesty, it really doesn't. Like I want to because I wanted to go into this movie being like, okay, it's probably not that great, but hopefully it's better than what it is. And although it was the most real portrayal of
Yeah,
current life, um, as a movie, as an entertaining movie, it doesn't really measure up. And party movies kind of need to be entertaining. And at the end of this, it was the I Heart Huckabee of party movies because ultimately it was
it
more
wasn't
about
really a party movie.
teenage ego. Yeah, it was more about teenage ego death from both Alex and Maggie's characters. They had to overgrow their teenage bullshit to become adults, basically, and then proceed with their journey of adultism. So, I think although it's not a great movie, it is a somewhat fitting movie to end on for this episode of parties and hold up. Talk about parties. I think it was a nice spectrum of what party movies could be.
Mm-hmm. It is because it Animal House is almost clownish. They push the frat and party aspects too far, where it doesn't feel believable at all. As we said, House Party's Goldilocks. It has like the perfect amount of
Mm.
everything. And then this pushes the other far. It's just like let's do a movie that's kind of we go to parties and stuff, but it's just super serious and there's a lot of crying and yeah, you could
Yeah.
never put this on, like I say about the perfect party movie, like House Party. You could put it on at a party. This you could definitely not do that.
Yeah, no, you definitely couldn't do that. You could get away with Animal House and House Party being on in the background of a party for party movies for
So,
sure.
yeah. So our parties movie rankings, I think we agree. House Party is the cream of the crop. We actually added it to our A movies. We finally got an A movie edition. First one since Soil and Green. Um, it's funny, so far our werewolf episode had the most A's. That's been our who would have thought werewolf movies were the best of all movies, right? But
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
the things you learn on this show.
I like
So
the
yeah, I
curveballs
think
we
we
threw.
agree on our rankings here. Unless you like Shithouse better than Animal House.
No, no, no. Shithouse was definitely not better than.
Yeah,
I had more fun and entertainment watching Animal House, as you should when watching a
yeah,
movie about parties. Shithouse again was
yeah.
just ego death, and
Mhm.
I'm 36. I've been through that shit, man. I don't need to go
And
through it again.
self-indulgence.
Yeah, it's
But
no rip on Cooper Rafe. I'm sure he's a nice guy,
no,
a
and
talented
I think
dude.
he's got a big career ahead of him for sure. Like this is
It's
for a first
it's
little
definitely
foray.
yeah, it's definitely peak 2020s though. It's like peak 2020s. Like it's 2020 through and through.
I relate to
characters.
Kid and Play. I relate more to Kid and Play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. Um,
I just want to be able to do that dance move where I grab my foot and then jump through it with the other foot.
jump through it.
That's
Yeah,
just yeah,
it's tricky.
it's tricky.
Meanwhile, other people that are on TikTok are doing the Luddy.
I don't know that one.
You don't
Look,
know the
Murphy,
Luddy?
we've got it in under 2 hours, and all we really have to do now is launch the coming attractions.
Coming
Do we have those
attractions and get
tonight?
the hell out of here. Yeah. All right. Well, I was going to show you the Letty, but I'll show you another time maybe. Yeah. Let's roll out with the coming attractions. We've got a new year coming in 2023 with a whole bunch of movies. We've got a huge list with a bunch of guest stars that you guys are going to enjoy here on Hold Up. The next topic, well, I guess should we? Well, yeah, the next topic of movies we're going to get into is presidents. We're going to be
No,
talking
politics.
politics. Sorry, we're going to be talking politics while examining presidents and talking politics. That's going to be the next episode. But before we get into the coming attractions,
You're right.
we should
Did you
probably
know
talk about our federation of podcasts here at United Federation of
indeed
Podcasts.
we
We
got
got some hot jams.
KBBL? That's coming up
KBBL.
2 days from now.
Yeah,
So
you
we're
guys
gonna be
are
we're up to
doing
season Moaning Lisa, the Bleeding Gums
Moaning
Murphy
Lisa.
episode.
Damn.
That's where we review The Simpsons and we laugh and we rejoice in how funny it is. So join us there.
Uh,
Also
I
check out
remember that
X-Rated
Bleeding
the
Gums
X-Men.
Murphy episode.
Yeah. Also check. Well, his name's Bleeding Gums Murphy.
Mm.
Um, X-Rated the X-Men Anime Review Show. We took a week off, but we will be back this coming Tuesday with the beginning of Sanctuary. That's going to be a good two-parter. Check out, and my co-host Andres. Check out, check out that interview we just had with Storm, voice of Storm, Alison Seeley Smith.
Sincerely
That was
smooth.
awesome. Check out Graphic History's podcast. Andre just interviewed Jeff Blythe, and that was a really good interview. A lot of good
It's
stories. The cameraman who did The Shining, a lot of helicopter camera work. There's a lot of
Yeah,
stuff for Disney and Circle Vision. It was
that's
good
dope.
stuff.
I'm gonna check that one out.
Yeah. Oh, check it out. Go check out his back catalog too, everybody. A lot of good interviews on that show. Superman, including one with me, myself, and I. You want to hear about how I almost killed Stan Lee? Go check that out. The Supermator Brothers, check that out. They review reality shows, and I don't know what they got going on there right now. I think they might be done all the reality shows at the moment.
Yeah, they just
Like,
finished up Survivor. I think they've probably got
yeah,
Big Brother coming up in the new year. I know you guys just
mhm.
had the Super Marvel
Yeah, we
Mater.
did the Mary Mater Marvel Society over there. That's true. I should have said
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
We talked
first
about
episode Mary
all the
Mater.
MCU offerings of 2022, and then we had an awards ceremony. It was a lot of fun. I put Dave and Jamil on the spot several times, uh, as I like to do.
It was good.
And
It
what
was
else
good.
was
I had to skip the Black Panther bits. I haven't seen it yet, but it was a good episode.
oh, fair enough.
I popped in. I had
We
to say some
spoiled it.
words about Multiverse of Madness.
You did. It got heated. Murphy was very animated about his distaste for multiverse. Well, we all liked it better than Murphy did, and though he did bring our average down, we put his score in, and it brought the whole thing down to like a 5, which it deserved
It's
more.
still too high. It's still too high.
Well, we also have Live Long and Podcast. We have many divisions. We have the Command Division where they review the shows. We'll be doing the last episode of Prodigy actually tomorrow night. We also have the Ops Division where we do the Writers' Room. We did it once anyway, but normally we do Star Trek Radio Theater. We just did Star Trek
Good.
5. There's a TOS
Yeah.
episode coming up. And also the Science Division. We launch probes. We do trivia. We ask questions. We do debates. Lots of good stuff like that over in the Science Division. We're trying to learn. And then of course we have
Deep
the
space.
Locutors of Trek, which is me and Dave Puxley getting into the weeds on life and Star Trek and how they intersect. Basically, is how I would describe Locutors of Trek. And we review comic books sometimes and play with toys to try to balance out the seriousness. But we know even our serious stuff gets pretty ridiculous and silly. And we play music for you, Star Trek themed often. And also check out trivia debates. There was just a Christmas one, and the next one coming up is hosted by Jamil. and it will be on reality television. And also check out the Hellbound podcast. I believe an episode just went up. The last one of the
Yeah,
year.
they're their last one of the year. There's potentially a New Year's Eve surprise coming through, so you
Right.
definitely want to tune into
Well,
the
way to
Hellbound podcast.
spoil
Check
the
that out.
surprise.
Hey, they talk about it at the end of the episode. If you've listened, you would know. So
Oh, I didn't listen to that episode yet. It just came out today. I was preparing for our little show here. All right, well, let's hit those coming attractions. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining us, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and watching some movies with us. Apparently losing my voice. It was a good time talking parties. I'm hoping 2023 is going to be a great year of checking out movies. I hope we get more people to
And celebrations.
join us on this wonderful adventure. Episode 7, we're talking politics. So get your hats in because here's what we're watching.
Happy New Year. Watch House Party.
Happy New Year and enjoy the movies.